It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. Let's punch the line here. Get Mr. Bob Pollock on the line with us. Conversation brought to you by Marcus Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Bob, of course, with Penn State Extension, Indiana County's Extension Director, as a matter of fact. And you can give him a call and ask him a question this morning. Our normal line, 479-1160, is not functional for receiving calls in, but I can call out, and that's where I got Bob. So that leaves 349-WCCS open, 349-9227 if you have a question for Mr. P. Bob, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good today. How are you?
I'm lovely. I have to tell you, though, working the garden up the other day, it was so nice, and I thought, man, I could put stuff in right now, but that's probably not wise. I have a caller for you, though. Let's get a question for you. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, sir. I was wondering, is there a way to make what's called seed strips?
Seed strips, Bob.
Yeah.
Is there a way to make those?
Did I stumble?
Well, and the purpose of that...
Explain to folks first, Bob, what a seed strip is.
Yeah, let's maybe define that so we're all on the same page. Really, that's a way to make it easier to plant seeds because they come on a little strip, and the seeds are stuck on that strip at the prescribed planting distance. And so essentially all you have to do is roll out that strip, cut it off wherever the end of the row is or how many ever seeds you want to plant. So then you don't have to do any measuring on your own. It's taken care of for you.
Yeah. So you dig your trench, you roll it out. So can you make one?
You could probably, and I'm sure you can, I haven't looked this up lately, but you could probably buy that kind of stuff online at least. Have not seen that anywhere locally at this point. And so you'd have to have a strip. Whatever that strip is needs to be biodegradable, for one thing. And then I was thinking, tape or something like that, where you already had a sticky side that you could, easily stick the seeds on.
Mm-hmm.
However, you're still going to have to do measuring to do that.
Okay. I've got the recipe here. You ready?
Tape.
Yeah, I'm ready.
What's that?
Here's the recipe. Better Homes and Gardens helps us out. Here's what you need.
Okay.
You need a ruler and a marker.
I got that.
You need 2 tablespoons of white flour.
Okay, you make a paste.
A tablespoon of water to make a paste. Single ply toilet paper.
Oh, okay.
Seeds and toothpicks.
I can do it.
And you can go to Better Homes and Gardens, and they'll tell you exactly what you need to do. But those are the materials that you need. You're going to fold that toilet paper to your desired length. If you only have 2-ply toilet paper on hand, then split the 2 layers, fold the toilet paper in half horizontally, and then unfold it to make a crease. But they have the whole recipe there for you to make your own.
All right. I appreciate that so much. Thanks.
You betcha.
Bye-bye.
Bye. How about that, Bob?
There you go. You were able to look that up. So, yeah.
That was the problem, though.
Some people that have extra toilet paper stocked on their shelves from the past year.
From the past year, yeah. But the real problem there when you're thinking about that is, as you said, how do you make it biodegradable so that paper is going to disintegrate and the seeds then can get what they need to grow?
Yeah, because you don't want to, if you could think about, I could roll out some tape, already have a sticky side, do that, but then that could, with that seed sticking there, then that could impair the seed as it tries to germinate, and the root and the shoot grow, could mess that up. It could get stuck on that and deform it and mess it up. So with paper, and you probably could use newspaper also.
That's going to biodegrade too, yeah, but it's a little
might be another option. And you just have to cut strips, and then you could easily do that.
Yeah. Okay, so that was an interesting question.
Yes.
And I've wondered about that in the past, if there is such a product, and there is.
Actually, they have like they actually can do that with plants too, like plug plants.
Oh yeah,
small, yeah. So those plug plants that would be grown in a tray, they actually can stick those on rolls of tape that when you're planting multiple, and they actually have a planter that uses those, and then you can plant plants rather than having to stick each one in the ground. It actually is, they're all attached to a piece of tape on a roll, and so the distance is already figured out, and it speeds up the planting process.
Okay. So here's what I was starting to talk with you about a couple of moments ago. It's been so nice and warm lately, and the ground is nice and warm as well, and worked up the garden because I wanted to get the mushroom manure that we put on last fall. I wanted to get that worked down into the soil. But as you're working it up, you're thinking, my goodness, this looks like I could put this in right now and get the garden started a month early. But that's probably not the best idea, is it?
And
it's only April the 9th today.
Right. So it's even, and if you were, and a lot of times we can go in and at least initially get the soil prepared, or, say if you have a smaller garden plot that you hand dig, this weather would allow the opportunity to get the soil turned over. You may not want to rototill it yet unless you are ready to plant, and then you could plant if, you're planting cooler season crops, where that seed is going to be able to handle those cooler conditions. A lot of times if we try to get in too early, the soil's still too cool. Right now the moisture levels are not where they need to be, so that seed might sit there, and as long as it's dry, that's okay. But if we get into some cold, wet weather, then the seed can sit there and rot.
Yeah.
Some seeds are coated. Some seeds are coated with a fungicide to help protect against rotting or diseases or organisms attacking that seed and causing it to rot before it's able to germinate. So really, there's a lot of factors there. And on top of that, if you're going to cover it with a row cover, or if you're going to make a tunnel, essentially a mini greenhouse, or maybe you have gallon jugs, or something like that you're able to make a warmer environment, then that will allow you to plant sooner.
Yeah. Are there things that you can put in the ground sooner than others? We talk about the cool season crops, and you can certainly set your onions out and things of that nature at some point.
Right. So onions, peas are another really good example of one we can plant early. It's a cool season crop, and then we start to get into some of the cold crops, the broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. We're still pushing it a little bit for those yet, unless you were able to cover them. And again, whether you're planting seeds or whether you're planting transplants need to be hardened off. So we can, even though those are cool season crops, planting the seed is one thing, and letting it germinate and grow as the soil and air temperatures allow it to do that. And then it's already kind of
used
hardened
to it,
off, so to speak, or used to those conditions. It's growing in them, and those conditions allow that plant to grow. Transplants, if they're grown, they were seeded in a greenhouse, then they're grown, but they need to be hardened off, because in the greenhouse, it's like being indoors. So we don't have the wind effects. Yes, it's warm, but we don't have that wind or those cooler temperatures. We'll have it warmer during the day and cooler at night, but that's not always the same as when you step outside and have to deal with those conditions. So we need to harden those transplants off.
It's like
usually. Go ahead.
It's like someone from Florida coming up here to PA.
Yes.
Where we're perfectly comfortable outside in 60-degree weather, and they're saying to themselves, "It's freezing here."
That's right. They're chilling, and they've got a couple layers on, and and we're looking at them kind of funny, like, "What's the matter with you?" And of course, the same thing happens when we go to we're used to cooler temperatures and go to warmer temperatures, and we're sweating profusely, and they look at us and say, "Got a problem."
Yeah.
But so normally to harden plants off, we want to introduce them to cooler temperatures. So on a cooler day where it's sunny, you can put them out and get them used to that and used to that more air movement. And that's another thing you can do indoors is actually blow a little air over plants that you've seeded and are growing, because it'll give a stockier plant, which is very helpful.
It's like calisthenics or isometrics. There you go, isometrics for plants.
Yes.
With little resistance.
And then we'll let them dry out a little bit, stress them a little bit by not watering them or keeping the soil moist, letting the soil dry out. That stresses it a little bit. You don't want to overdo that to get them to wilt, but you want to just hold off on the water a little bit so the air, air temperatures as well as holding off on the water a little bit will help acclimate those plants to the outdoors and then make them less susceptible to damage when you do set them out.
All righty, sir. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning. Appreciate that.
You're quite welcome.
He's Mr. Bob Pollock. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, 101.1 FM and AM, 1 FM and AM